So here I'm going to create a tropical limited hand tied, and I'm going to use one of the new products from Widups, which is the pyramid bag. This has been something that lots of florists have been asking for, so that the actual bag has a little bit more of an angle, so it gives more of support when you actually place the hand tied in, and it's become very, very popular. So it's a great new range that Widups have on, so you know, you can then have your name printed on with your logo and information as well. So first of all, I'm going to start off by making a limited tied, and I've got here a collection of products. I've got some Psittacorum, some Musa, gingers, we've got Dracaena tips, leather leaf, palm leaves, and some anthuriums. And I'm first of all just going to take a couple of the larger Dracaena leaves, and I just want to just roll a couple down, so it's giving me some depth once I actually start to put my hand tied together. So I'm just going to take 2 or 3 leaves, and then I can just catch with some tape. First of all. So now I've got some wonderful grevillea, green grevillea here, and I'm going to start off by making a little bit of a cup of foliage within the hand. This will give me the basis to actually create my limited tied. I'm going to take some of the gingers. First of all, I'm going to place one of my gingers at its highest point, and then start to add in some of the Psittacorums. So we're now placing the Psittacorum into the hand tied. So this is now creating that stronger point at the top of the design. So we're now going to take some of the rolled leaves, and the rolled leaves will give me depth at the base of the hand tied first of all. And we are actually spiraling our flowers, so we can just tweak our flowers into the right position. And now we're going to just take one of the Musa flowers that's going to give me that focal area within the piece. Adding one of my Dracaena tips, and then I'm just going to slide a Dracaena tip at the back, so it really is going to create height and depth into the design. Take a couple of more of the gingers, so we can create the start of the limited. Again, adding a little bit more of the leather leaf just around that base. So it is becoming quite a front-facing design, so that everything will be faced in one direction. Adding one of my other gingers, and then we're just going to add in a couple of the green anthuriums. Start to give movement and depth to the outside. Of the tide. So this is really sort of creating quite a nice, interesting look. We're now just going to add in one of the Monstera leaves and a couple of fan palms, so it just finishes off the base of the hand tide. We're now going to take some twine, and we're going to fasten all the flowers together. Tying all the flowers all together at that tying point. And there we have created a stunning front-facing hand tie ready to go into the pyramid bag. So here I'm taking roughly about 19 inches of the cellophane, and I have taken 3 sets of this, which will create the wrap to go around my exotic hand tied. And first of all, what I'm going to do with the orange tint, I'm going to take about 2 inches away, and then I'm just going to turn it around and again say take about 2 inches away from that edge. So what I want to do is that I've actually got the tint to sit in the middle of the cellophane, and I'm then going to fold so we've got some points, and then we're just going to then take a stapler through and just catch, so this stops the cellophane from slipping. So here I have my other cellophanes ready, and we can now start to take the limited tied. So first of all, I'm going to work around the back of the design. So I'm going to cut the cellophane gently around the back. So this now comes to this tying point here, and then I can catch with a small amount of sellotape. So now I can take my next piece off to one side, and this can then just catch gently at the back and cut around the back of the limited tied, and take my final piece, which again will just cut around the back of the actual design. So it's really sort of creating a nicer finish to the cellophane, so it's allowing you to show 2 levels at the same point. And then we can just take the tape around that tying point, so this is going to make it easier for when you actually come to place into your pyramid bag. Now, the most important thing with the pyramid bag is to make sure that your stems are going down to the bottom and they're not too short, because if they're too short it can then want to bend the actual bag itself, and then that spoils the actual look. So the easiest way is to measure where the hand tied will sit. So I know that I roughly need to take about 3 inches off the base of my stems. So when this actual hand tied is finished off with the wrap, it will gently sit and rest nicely on the actual bag itself. So we've measured, we've got the actual length of the stems perfect. We now take the cellophane, but we only want the cellophane to come up a small area of the bag here, so we can then tease the cellophane underneath and around that neck. So this now allows me to aquapack my flowers ready for my customer. Now, when you're using such a stunning bag, sometimes you don't always need to put a ribbon on. So we always make sure that our flower food is attached. So our little bag goes on with the flower food, the name of the business, but I always feel that with this particular style of bag as well, it's sort of giving you that impression of being a nice container at the same point. So now we can just sit the hand tie perfectly into the design, and that really gives a definition to the actual hand tide itself. And there you really have a stunning limited exotic hand tide for Mother's Day.